You like that when Daddy makes us eat. Because you have jobs.
You have jobs?
She holds parts of it for me. And she
Wow.
spices. So
Thank you for being such a good helper.
Juice. There you go.
Such a good helper.
That's the lemon juice. Yeah, I'll do it this one always.
Yeah. Do you need me to wash the big cup for you?
I washed it last night.
Oh, it's got water in it.
Oh.
I'm gonna wash it. Wow, what a big helper, girl. Are you the best helper in the world?
She helps more than two.
Are you such a good helper? You want to see the cup? You like this cup?
Okay.
What a big helper, girl.
Now we put some water in.
Hi. Good morning. Whoa, what a grunt. Hey, Roxy. Hey, Susan. Hey, Nikki. Since you're up, do you want to do the advent calendar while we're here?
Oh, sure.
Let's see. All right. We'll each have one and we can taste each other's. Same, Susan. Oh my gosh, so same. Susan just said she's zombified. So a lot of book club moms didn't sleep last night. There was like something in the air where like even kids who usually sleep were up last night. Isn't that weird?
Ish.
They were like having nightmares, and like the older kids even.
Feels like
Weird, right?
unfair.
Yeah, no, for sure. No.
We're already having trouble sleeping.
Yeah.
And there's something also in the air or moon doing it to us, then unfair.
Yeah, no, I agree completely with what he's saying. Yeah,
Unfair.
definitely. Well, like, because like Amanda, you met Amanda at the park. Her daughter, you saw her daughter. Her daughter's older. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she
And last
does.
night she was just having nightmares like crazy out of the blue. Yeah. So anyway,
It only affected children.
it only affected. Well, it affected the rest of us too. But you know,
Nightmares.
no. But I mean, like, we got the brunt of it also.
Remember last night when she woke up and I was like, she had like a nightmare?
Yeah, you might have been right.
There's some sort of, it's like some sort of it clown creature
Susan's
attacking children across the country.
Okay. Hey, Alyssa, how are you? We're about to do our Nespresso Advent calendar. We're a couple days behind, so we're going to do a cup for him and a cup for me this morning and taste each other's. Let's see, which was the last one we did? We did 6. Okay, so I think we need to do 7 and 8 today. So one of us will be 7 and one of us will be 8. So let's see what we get. Let's see what we get. All right. Oh, okay. So 7 is the candied tamarind and cinnamon flavor.
I had that in my coffee yesterday.
How was it?
I don't remember.
Okay. Wow, it's going well already. Well, let's taste it and we'll see.
I didn't try it without putting a little bit of,
Yeah.
something in.
Well, we're going to do a taste test. Susan says that one was so good, she has it. So that's the one that we're going to try for Secret Husband's coffee. And now I have to find number 8 for my coffee. And we'll
treat. Over and do it, but the light is in her eyes.
Oh, I'll change it. Hold on. Okay, so number 8 is Mexico, which I've actually had before, so maybe we should swap. And we'll still taste both of them, but I've had that one and he's had this one, so we'll just swap. Better? Okay. Yeah, let me get the milks and we'll be ready. Mommy, maybe need to go to the grocery store today. Alright, so we're gonna pour this stuff. Do you want your regular coffee black? Okay. I'm so sorry, I can't hear. Yes. How's everyone doing? Hey, Kelly. How are you doing? How's everyone doing? We're tasting coffees because we were behind on the advent calendar, but we're catching up. Whoa, that looked like it got spilly. Are you okay? Too hot? No? What? Oh, good. Pretty good, pretty good. We were just talking about how a bunch of kids had trouble sleeping last night, even ones that usually sleep well through the night. Ours isn't one of those, but there are kids who usually sleep through the night, and you know what?
I was giving her a new job, and it actually worked. It's my fault. I gave her one of the pieces of ginger to put in my tea.
Yeah.
And I said, she was holding it, and I said, "Do you want to drop it?"
And she just dropped it. Yeah.
Dropped it.
Well, that's
like,
fair. You're like, you know what?
It was close. It was like, like a claw machine.
Hey, Naisa. Yeah. All right, so we're gonna taste day 7 right now. This is cinnamon and candied tamarind. I don't know what to expect of that, but I'm gonna taste it without the milk first. It smells great. Do you want to smell it? Smell that. That smells like Christmas. You want to smell it, baby girl? She said no. She says not. She pushed it away. She said absolutely not. Okay, I'm gonna test it. I definitely could not drink that on its own. Woo! I mean, it's fine, but like not to be drunk on its own for me. There's some that I actually can. That's not one of them. It's not bitter. It's just like, I don't know. Yeah. Hey Jen. Hey baby, it's okay. You don't want this, I know. So then let's go ahead and put the milk in it, and we'll taste it again. With the milk, it's great. That is a Christmas drink. Wow. Yeah. You want to taste it with the milk, honey? Tastes like Christmas, right? To me, anyway. I don't know what tamarind tastes like on its own, but in this, it definitely tastes like Christmas. So then... For this, I would say 2 out of 10 without the milk. I would give it a solid 8 or 9 out of 10 with the milk. What about you, babe?
I think so. 3 to 4 out of 10 and 7 out of 10.
Always the same with this guy. Hey, Brittany. Okay, now we're going to taste the Mexico blend. I have had this before, but I've never had it without the milk, I don't think. So I'm going to taste it, and we're going to see. Smells good, pretty average. It's amazing how milk can make coffee better. Oh, it's phenomenal. Well, it's because it tames the bitterness mostly. You know what? That one doesn't bother me nearly as much. This one I could drink on its own. That one I could not. This one without milk, I'm going to give it probably a 5 out of 10. This is maybe the best one other than this one, the festive. Oh no, all gone. Sad. The festive collection double espresso. This one is good on its own. Other than that one, I think so far this is the best one on its own. Do you want to taste it on its own and give us a rating, good sir? I turned the handle for you, see, that was smart. I'm learning.
Ooh, that's a solid 4 out of 10.
You're very funny. All right, which one? What do you want in it? Because you said you want a little bit of creamer in it. Which?
Just like you just put a little bit of creamer in.
This one?
Yeah.
You just want to splash?
Yeah, just a splash.
I'm not doing the whole thing because this is actually going to be his coffee for the day, so I don't want to whatever. I'm gonna taste it.
What's this?
Yeah, I mean, both ways for me. This is a 5. You know what I mean? It's just like a solid medium coffee. It's not my favorite coffee. It's not a bad coffee. It's not too bitter. It's just like a solid mid coffee. It's fine. So I'm going to go put these away. They had an espresso in the hotel room we stayed in this weekend. Ah, look at you, fancy lady. If you want, she can come to the chair with me now. Okay. You want to come sit in the chair with Mommy while Mommy reads? All right, let's go to the chair.
I'll be right here.
Let's go to the really nice chair. We're gonna go this way. We're gonna do some fancy footwork. I'm gonna put this on here. I think we forgot to do our book advent yesterday, you guys, so someone remind me later that we need to do that before we go. All right, you wanna come sit in here, my angel? Oh, why don't we get some tape? We haven't had tape in a little bit.
Okay, let's get some tapey tape.
Yeah. Do you want to sit with mommy while mommy reads?
Yeah.
You want to be a ready girl? I know, she does. How's everyone doing other than those whose children didn't sleep last night? Raise your hand if your baby or child didn't sleep last night. Raise your hand. Who is it? I know you're there because I know some of them personally. Susan, Amanda, where are your hands? I already heard your stories. Just one struggle, yes. Huh? Oh, thank you. All right, my sweetheart, do you want some tape? Let's do some tape. You didn't raise your hand, babe.
Oh.
He's waving his arms like his hand. Susan put up an emoji that looks pretty much like how you waved your arms. I know, so fun. We got a really cute cloud lamp for... Yeah, but I didn't want her to see them, so I kept them hidden. Yeah. I'm gonna wrap them for her. Yes, Grandma sent Christmas presents that need to be wrapped and put under the tree. And we have a present for Grandma that we forgot to bring to her house. Oops. Grandma will have to get it next time she comes here. Wow, you got that tape off so fast. Good job. Let's try a more difficult one. What if Mommy put it over the side here so it took a little more? Wow, okay. All right, well. Okay, let's try a more difficult one. What if it was on here? Whoa, look at this one, sweetheart. What's that? How did it get on there? That's crazy, right? I mean, a little bit. It's a little bit crazy. It's a little bit crazy. Yeah. Can you get that one? That one's really hard. Yeah, right? Seriously, Amanda. So yeah, anyway, I hope everyone whose children didn't sleep's coffee is extra strong today. I wish that for you. This candied tamarind and cinnamon one with the milk in it is Christmas. We're gonna need another sleeve of this so that we can drink it for Christmas. That's real nice. Oh, not in our mouth, right? Tape is fun for the table, but not mouth. I love it. Okay, well, let's get to reading. Yeah, I think so. I think so, Amanda. I'm gonna go ahead and pin the correct book that we are reading. Where's our book? Where's our book? What book will we read today? This one. This is what we're reading. Wow, you did a great job getting that tape off. Thank you, honey. So yesterday, good morning, Anya, we were in a battle. So if you did not have a chance to catch up, that's okay. I'm gonna give you a catch up right now. We are in the middle of chapter, excuse me. It's a very long chapter. We're in the middle of chapter 18, which is fairies versus witches. Wow, good job, honey. You did great. And currently, you really do nice. It's just masking tape. When does she get some clouds into the, oh my gosh, not for probably 2 years. Not until they're not putting anything in their mouth. She is still in the put things in your mouth phase. My sister had to record reading part of a book and I made her do it when they, oh yeah, it's so sweet. Froggy's such a nice guy. So what's happening right now is all the fairies from the Fairy Council are fighting the witches in the middle of Central Park. There's also an army of gingerbread men, and all of the weapons are made out of candy. So if you didn't know what's going on, now you're caught up on when you hear things like if they're like a candy cane sword or whatever, you know what's going on. So here we are. And let's go. Right, sweetheart? Ah, that's the beauty of this world, the sea witch hissed. In the other world, evildoers can win. Oh, such a harsh way to start the day. Wow, what a line to start the day on. Boof, buh. Hi, Isabella. Sad times. In our world, evildoers can win? Woof. Okay. Sad. Super sad. The sea witch clapped her claws together, and the wall of water caved in on the fairy. The water formed a sphere around Emeralda, and she couldn't breathe. The fairy struggled against her fishy constraint, but she couldn't break free. Emeralda's eyes fluttered shut as she appeared to drown. Before she celebrated her victory, the sea witch wanted to make certain that the fairy really was dead. She snapped her claws again, and the coral and the eel disappeared, and the fairy's lifeless body rolled out of the watery sphere. As the witch leaned over her, Emeralda suddenly snapped back to life and grabbed the sea witch's claw. The witch's body was infected by Emeralda's touch, and inch by inch the sea witch was covered in an emerald glow that transformed her body into sea glass. When the transformation was complete, Emeralda blasted the sea witch with bright green light, and she burst into 1,000 pieces, showering Central Park in tiny shards of sea glass. Ouch. The sea witch's sharks angrily lunged toward Emeralda. The giant sphere of salt water rolled toward her, and before the sharks could harm the fairy, Mother Goose and Merlin pushed Emeralda out of the way and jumped into the sphere. Why would they do that? The couple transformed into a pair of giant squid and beat the sharks senseless. That's why they would do that. Nearby, Violetta was having a difficult time keeping up with Serpentina's swift attacks. The witch wrapped her tongue around the fairy's ankle and dragged her through the mud. In retaliation, Violetta simply threw a small rock at the witch, but she missed. Serpentina flung Violetta into the air, and the fairy landed with a heavy thud on the ground. Once again, all Violetta did to defend herself was throw another rock at the witch, and it too missed by almost a foot. The fairy repeated her poor defense over and over again, and it only annoyed her opponent. "Oh, come on. You're not even trying. Have some self-respect and fight back," Serpentina hissed. And Violetta smiled and pointed to the sky above Serpentina. The witch looked up and saw all the rocks hovering above her head, but they had all grown to the size of boulders. Violetta snapped her fingers, and the boulders collapsed on top of Serpentina. She's clapping. It was great. Good job, Violetta, right? Good job. Good job. Can you get this piece right here? Violetta smiled. Oh, wait, sorry, I already said that. Across the lawn, Skyline was clashing with Charcoline, and a geyser of lava erupted from Charcoline's mouth and aimed toward the fairy. Skyline reached out her hands and blocked the lava with an equally powerful geyser of water. Really? Do you want this piece right here? What about this one right here? And this one, look at this. Oh, can you get this one? That's a difficult one because it's wrapped around the toy, huh? I know, it's so difficult. Try to get it, though. I think you can. Can you do it? She's studying it. She's like, can I? You can. I know you can. It might take a little extra work, but you can do it. The water made a rainbow appear over the great lawn. Not that anyone had a spare moment to enjoy it. Charcoline used all her strength to hit Skyline with the most powerful geyser she could muster. The witch's whole body filled with lava and flowed through the cracks of her ashy skin. Skyline spotted the Central Park reservoir out of the corner of her eye, and she had an idea. The fairy kept her watery geyser flowing with one hand and pointed to the reservoir with the other. An enormous wave of cold water spilled out of the reservoir and drenched everyone and everything across the great lawn. Oh, really? Can you get this piece right here? Look at this. What's this? What's this? What is it? When Skyline looked up, Charcoline had disappeared. The fairy looked to the ground and discovered that her opponent had cooled into a mound of singed charcoal. Wow. Can you say, wow? Wow. Wow? Wow. Wow? Wow. Yeah. Not only did Skyline's wave defeat the witch, but it also dissolved the remaining gingerbread soldiers. Connor, his friends, and the knights from Camelot cheered in victory. With the soldiers gone, Rook and Cornelius were free to approach the hill where Alex stood. The lion statues from the New York Public Library growled at them. There was no way for them to get past patience and fortitude. Really, my angel? Really? You see Dada? Cornelius, you stay here and distract the lions, Rook said. I'm going to sneak up the hill behind them. Meanwhile, Jack and Goldilocks raced to the end of the great lawn where Rat Mary was dueling with Coral. The witch repeatedly scratched and bit the young fairy, but Coral was afraid that if she fought back, she would injure the infant that was wrapped against the witch's chest. Give us back our son, you miserable rodent, Jack said. If you think I'm miserable, you should meet my friends, Rat Mary said. Oh, is that sad Dada walked away from you? Oh, my baby. There he is. He's back. He just had to put his cup down. Oh, my angel. She just wants a hug from you. Said, Dada, hug me. Hug me, Dada.
She turns away so that I grab.
No, she's giving you a hug. Yeah. I can take her in the playpen if I need to. The witch placed both hands on the ground and summoned the rats and the mice in Central Park. The rodents came in droves until there were thousands and thousands of them at Rat Mary's command. The witch pointed at Jack, Goldilocks, Coral, and all the rodents attacked. The rats and the mice crawled all over their bodies, scratched their faces, and chewed their hair. Jack and Goldilocks tried to knock the vermin off with their weapons, but there were too many to keep up with. Hey, Buck-Teeth McRabies over there, Mother Goose called out. Why don't you pick on someone your own size? And Rat Mary roared with laughter. What are you going to do, Granny? Mother Goose cringed at the insult. You know what? I've been called a lot of names in my day, but you want to hear what they used to call me in Hamlin? Let me guess, Rat Mary said. Was it Mother Time, Rip Van Winkles, Old Woman River, Lady Macbeth? Not even close, Mother Goose said. They called me the Pied Piper. Mother Goose removed a small pipe that was tucked into her bonnet. She pressed the instrument against her lips and played a charming melody. As soon as the first 3 notes rang out, all the rats and mice attacking Goldilocks and Jack and Coral froze. They immediately formed a line and scurried across the great lawn toward the reservoir. The rodents dove into the water and never resurfaced. I would hate for my power to be control over rats and rodents. I mean, look, here's the thing. Like, do I want my power to be that? No, but like, can you make it work? Like, probably. Are you singing a song, my angel?
Yeah, we're singing, we're singing, we're singing.
Are you singing a song of your people? Rat Mary's eyes widened with fear. She scanned the great lawn and discovered that only witches that were left were the ones hiding behind ovens. Yeah, if you live in a big city, it's really useful. It was the witches who were now outnumbered. Sisters, we must leave this foul place, Rat Mary declared. If the fairies want the other world so much, they can have it. We'll find another world to call home, but for now, it's time to fly. And Rat Mary held out a hand, and a broomstick flew into it. The witches, cowering behind the ovens, quickly retrieved their own brooms. Lower the shield, girl, Rat Mary shouted at Alex, and Alex did as she was told. The force field surrounding Central Park disappeared, and the witches straddled their brooms and rose into the air like a flock of crows. Rat Mary led the witches toward New York City's skyline with Hero dangling from her chest. Yes, 100%, Nikki. Babe, Nikki goes, hi, I'm Secret Baby from such hits as Screamy Pants.
Yeah. Yeah, it's our main hit in this household is Screamy Pants right now.
It's pretty funny that she got your vibe, though.
Yes.
From such hits as Screamy Pants. Okay, this is bad, you guys. I just want to tell you, in case you're not picturing this, Rat Mary is riding on a broomstick with Jack and Goldilocks' baby boy strapped to her chest in, of all things, a baby Bjorn, which I hate. Gets worse by the minute. Hero, Goldilocks shouted, and Jack whistled for Lester. The gander hurried toward him. Lester, we need your help, Jack said. Follow those witches. Jack and Goldilocks hopped aboard Lester's back, and the giant bird soared into the air, following the witches toward the city. Ba 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 ba. Ba ba ba. Now that the shield was down, everyone was finally free to leave the park, but they were also vulnerable to the dangers outside of it. There was a sniper stationed on the roof of a building just east of the park, waiting all night and all morning for this moment to come. "General, I've got a clear shot of the girl from the library," he said into his radio. "She seems to be the one generating the shield over the park. Do I have your permission to shoot before it reappears?" "We're a little busy with flying monkeys and flying ships over here," the general replied. "Fire at your own discretion." "Locked on target," the sniper said, preparing to fire in 3, 2, 1. Then the sniper pulled the trigger, and in a split second a bullet traveled more than 1,000 feet from the rooftop and pierced the beating heart of an unsuspecting, misunderstood teenager. Connor and his friends heard the echo of the gunshot through the park and looked up at the hill in terror. "No!" Connor screamed. The sound of her brother's panic voice broke Alex's curse for another brief moment, and she looked to Froggy, Red, Cornelius, Arthur, Mother Goose, Merlin, the Knights of the Round Table, and the fairies of the Fairy Council staring up at her with horrified expressions. But they weren't looking at her. Alex turned to her left and saw that Rook was standing beside her with blood dripping from a small hole in his chest. "Alex," he gasped, I really hope this will make things right." Rook then collapsed and rolled down the hill and never got up. He had gone to the hill hoping to save Alex, and tragically his mission was even more of a success than he intended. Alex stared down at her friend's body in shock. "Rook?" she said softly. "Rook, please get up. Please get up." The farmer's son didn't move, and Alex realized that her worst nightmare had come true. Someone that she loved had been hurt. A tsunami of emotions rushed through her body, and the witch's curse returned. Her eyes glowed brighter than ever before, and her hair flickered above her head like the flames of a rocket. Her power had never possessed... a power that she never possessed before surged through her veins. "Hey, Mary." Alex pointed at the sniper in the distance, and the building he stood on imploded beneath him. The man jumped and made it to a nearby rooftop only a moment before he would have plummeted to the ground. "Alex, look, you need to calm down," Connor yelled up at the hill. "You have to control your emotions before they control you." His sister clapped her hands, and a bright spiral of light like the Milky Way galaxy appeared above her. Alex and the lion statues disappeared inside the light and spiraled and whirled out of Central Park. With no witches to control her, the curse had transformed Alex into a destructive force with no bounds, and she was loose in New York City. "We need to find her at once," Esmeralda told the others. "If we can't find a way to break the curse, Alex could destroy the whole city, and maybe even herself in the process." Connor, Bree, Froggy, Red, Mother Goose, Merlin, and the Fairy Council ran out of Central Park and headed in the direction of Alex's light. Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table knelt beside Rook's body to pay their respects. Cornelius nudged his friend with his snout and waited for him to wake up. But Rook's eyes never opened again. I'm sorry, but actually the saddest part is Cornelius, mourning Rook, because he's his horse, basically. He's like, "That was my rider." That's so sad. That's, gut-wrenching. The horse is like, "My human." Rook wasn't a bad guy, he just made a mistake. I think it's really sweet of Arthur and all the Knights of the Round Table to pay their respects to a fallen soldier. Ugh. Gut-wrenching. That's just sad. It's just heartbreaking. Okay. Well, when you get to the end of a series, you get to some of the sad moments. And guys, we are on page 321, chapter 19, and there are only... How many chapters are in this book? There's only 24 chapters in this book, you guys. We're going to finish this book this week. I mean, maybe, Brittany, but we'll see. I don't know what Cornelius can do, and Alex is gone, Chapter 19 is called War of the Worlds. Here we go.
While the fairies battled the witches in Central Park, General Wilson and his Marines were up against the fight of their lives. The literary army had the strongest, fastest, and most efficient opposition in the United States soldiers had ever faced. The flying monkeys swooped in from the sky and yanked the Marines' weapons out of their hands before they even knew what was happening. Babe, do you want me to go in the playpen with her?
What?
Do you want me to go in the playpen with her? That might be...
I'm holding on to her.
No, I know, but she's just screaming.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
If I go in there with her, she'll calm down.
I can go with the Colfer, it's okay.
I can do it so you can work. It's okay. She's obviously annoyed.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were having fun with me. I thought you wanted me to hang out with you. Back.
Do you want me to take her in there?
Back. I can sit with her for a little bit, it's okay.
Okay, we can trade out whenever you want. Just let me know. I get tripped up by the orientation of the camera. I always think we have more than we... Oh, yeah, because you're seeing this half of the book. No, it's this that we have left. Yeah. Yeah. We're almost done with this book, you guys. Wild. Yeah, and then we're going to vote on what to do next. All right. All right. I see you, my angel. I see you. The flying monkeys swooped in from the sky and yanked the Marines' weapons out of their hands before they even knew what was happening. The Jolly Roger blasted the cannon at all the Marines' Hummers and tanks, and at the rooftops where the pirates spotted snipers. Once they were virtually defenseless, the Winkies and the Card Soldiers rounded up all the Marines in Midtown Manhattan and forced them to kneel in the middle of 59th Street on the edge of Central Park. The Winkies and the Card Soldiers surrounded the captured Marines, while the Jolly Roger and the Flying Monkeys watched them from the air above. The literary soldiers only parted as the Wicked Witch and the Queen of Hearts and Captain Hook came to have a word with their prisoners. Wait, are we not doing Tale of Magic? Everyone voted for Tale of... So we are doing Tale of Magic, Naisa, but some people said that they might, like, it might be nice to have, like, a one-book break in between and then return to it, so it's, like, returning to the characters after having, like, a quick mental break from this one, because when we all read these the first time, we didn't go right into it, and, like, coming back to the characters is a very warm feeling, so some people asked if I would read my book in between, so either mine, or there's another one that we had on our list of things to read, or both, and then we will read Tale of Magic. So it's not that we're not going to do Tale of Magic, we just don't know if it's going to be the very next thing. Because, like, having a breather in between sometimes is really nice, right? Not always, but, like, can be, you know? So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I'm always up for whatever you guys want to do. I take the majority always with this stuff. You know that. Which one of you is in charge? The Queen of Hearts asked. Against the sergeant's advice, General Wilson got to his feet and addressed the literary villains. I am, he announced. I'm General Gunther Wilson of the United States Marines, and who the heck are you people?
Now, General, the Wicked Witch said. That's no way to speak to your new commanders.
The United States Marines only answer to one commander, and that's our commander-in-chief, General Wilson said. All right, and where is he? Captain Hook said and looked around New York City street. He must step forward immediately and surrender the other world to us. Babe, do you want me to take her into the playpen?
What?
Do you want me to take her in the playpen?
I was just very excited.
No, I know, I can take her in there. It's okay.
Oh, it's okay.
I can go in there with her. It's not a big deal. She is in Washington, D.C., General Wilson said, and I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but you're never going to get close to her. You see, we're just a fraction of the United States military, and the rest of it is surrounding the city as we speak. The minute you step on this island, you will be annihilated.
No.
The Wicked Witch, the Queen of Hearts, and Captain Hook were amused by the general's remarks. The villains looked at one another and howled with menacing laughter. Then we'll disarm them just as easily as we've disarmed you, the Queen of Hearts said. This isn't the first world we've conquered, General, and it won't be the last. Soon the heads of your precious military and the commander-in-chief will be mounted on our wall. But you and your men don't have to perish.
But you and your men don't have to perish in the process,
the Wicked Witch said.
You and your men could join our army and be a part of our great empire.
General Wilson took off his sunglasses so that the villains could see every inch of his disgust and impassioned scowl. We would rather die than join the likes of you, he shouted. So be it, Captain Hook said. Mr. Smee, prepare the cannons. And the pirates aboard the Jolly Roger loaded the ship's cannons and aimed them at the Marines. The general and his soldiers closed their eyes and braced themselves for a massacre. On my count of 3, Captain Hook ordered. 1, 2, and suddenly the Dalai Lama descended from the sky and shielded the Marines from the Jolly Roger's cannons. The floating ships were so close to each other that the pirates could see the whites of one another's eyes. Peter Pan stood beside Captain Auburn Sally and Admiral Jacobson on the upper deck.
Oi, codfish!
Peter Pan called down to Captain Hook.
Did you miss me?
The sight of Peter Pan made Captain Hook growl like a wounded animal. Peter Pan, he roared, what are you doing in the other world?
I couldn't let you have all the fun without me now, could I?
Peter Pan taunted him.
Leave these Marines alone, Captain. Finish your fight with me before you pick another one.
I'm so curious if your voice is booked. Oh, we'll see. You good, or do you want me to go in there with her? Okay. Captain Hook glared at the boy who wouldn't grow up with so much hatred it was a miracle that his face didn't catch on fire. Smee, drop a ladder, Captain Hook ordered, and Smee rolled a rope ladder off the side of the ship and touched it to the ground. Captain Hook grabbed a hold of the ladder and pointed it at the Dalai Lama with his hook. After that ship, he commanded. Peter Pan stuck his tongue out at Captain Hook. Admiral Jacobson spun the Dalai Lama's wheel, and the ship rose higher into the sky. With the Jolly Roger soaring after it, the flying monkeys also flew after the Dalai Lama to assist the Jolly Roger. But the creatures came to an abrupt stop when the Ziblings' colorful jet zipped into their path. The superheroes and their adoptive father waved at the monkeys from inside the cockpit. Attention, hominid at... Oh, I don't know what this word is. Hominid... Acetripidae?
Whoa.
Maybe?
Hominacitripidae?
Homin... Oh, boy. I'm gonna spell it.
Yeah, spell it. Oh, look it up. Do you know what it means?
Yeah, I don't.
Okay.
Probably like humanoid something. Okay, you ready?
Okay.
H-O-M-I...
Okay.
N-I...
Okay.
D-A...
Yeah.
E... Dash... A... C-C... I...
Wait.
Okay.
D-A-D dash?
D-A-E...
Oh.
Dash.
So hominidae means great apes.
Yeah. A-C-C-I-P-I-T-R-I-D-A-E. Is it flying monkeys?
Yeah. The first is family of apes. The second is family of birds.
Wow.
Prey.
I figured it out on my own.
Oh.
Smart mommy.
I have no idea how you say the second word.
I don't know how to say it either, but it means flying monkey. So he says, attention, blah, 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 hybrids, Professor Wallet said through the aircraft speaker. Resist your animalistic urges and spare yourself from cataclysmic fate. The flying monkeys scratched their heads and looked at one another in confusion. The Ziblings rolled their eyes at the professor's terminology, and Bolt took the microphone from him. In translation, just 'cause monkeys see don't mean monkey should do, Bolt said. Ditch the flying ship and come with us. We'll make it worth your while. Morph transformed into a pile of bananas. Oh, are we okay, baby angel?
Hey, just be careful. Oh, it's just a lot. Let me try this over here. Let's
Hi.
stand up.
What are you doing? Hi, beautiful. Hi. The winged creatures were tempted to go after the Ziblings' jet, but they glanced down at the Wicked Witch for permission first.
Tear that flying chunk of metal apart!
The Wicked Witch ordered them, and since the flying monkeys were under the witch's spell, they had no choice but to obey her. The winged creatures hurled after the Ziblings' jet, with their claws raised and their sharp teeth exposed. The superheroes yanked on the aircraft's gears, and the jet zoomed into the clouds. I dare say, merry man, shouted a boisterous voice, what sort of self-respecting man refers to himself as a Winky? The Wicked Witch looked down 59th Street and saw Robin Hood, Little John, Alan Adale, Will Scarlet, and Briar Tuck standing at Columbus Circle. I know, crazy, right, honey? The Circle was a New York City landmark and had a tall statue of Christopher Columbus at the center of a roundabout connecting 59th Street to Broadway. Would you look at that hideous woman the Winkies take orders from? Robin Hood said. Do you know what we in Locksley call a woman with one eye, terrible clothes, and a haggard face? I don't know, Robin. What? Little John said. What do you call her? Single, the Prince of Thieves declared, and the merry men burst into a fit of laughter. Ridiculous. The witch grunted at the insult, and steam piped out of her ears. Is that a yummy cracker? Mm-hmm.
After those arrogant men,
She ordered. Also under the witch's spell, the Winky soldiers immediately sprinted down the street and dashed after the Prince of Thieves. The wicked witch sat side saddle on her magical umbrella and flew above the soldiers. Robin Hood and the merry men hightailed it out of Columbus Circle and ran north on Broadway, leading their followers to another part of the city. I know. As the Queen of Hearts watched the Wicked Witch and the Winkies race off, a stiff hand unexpectedly tapped her shoulder. Excuse me, ma'am? A voice asked from behind her. Would you happen to know how to get to Central Park Station from here? The Queen of Hearts turned around and discovered that the Tin Woodman was standing behind her. The Queen had never seen a man made out of metal before, and a delighted squeal escaped her lips. She stepped toward the metal man with eyes like a predator. My word! What a remarkably rare head you have, she said, and she stroked the side of his face. It would be a wonderful addition to my collection. Come again? The Tin Woodman said. Guards! Seize this man at once, the Queen of Hearts shouted, and off with his head. And this is why you don't ask for directions in strange cities, the Tin Woodman said to himself. The Aussian ran from the deranged queen as fast as his tin legs would carry him. He took a sharp turn on Fifth Avenue, heading south into the city, and the card soldiers hurried after him. The Queen of Hearts snapped her fingers, and two of the soldiers joined hands and scooped her up and carried her with them as they chased after the Tin Woodman. Unbeknownst to the literary army, they had just been strategically lured away by Connor and his friends and characters. The villains had taken the bait like a hungry school of fish. Now that the Jolly Roger was flying after the Dalai Lama, the monkeys were flying after the Ziblings, and the Winkies were running after the merry men. The card soldiers were also chasing after the Tin Men, and the General and the Marines were left completely unattended on 59th Street. Wow. The Marines looked around the street in total bewilderment. They had gone from facing certain execution to freedom so quickly. Sir, what just happened? A Marine asked. That's what we call luck, Sergeant, General Wilson responded. Let's not press it any further. This morning. She put it on her chair earlier, or her steps earlier. It's still good. Yeah. It's from this morning. Yeah. Your orders, sir, asked another Marine. Evacuate Manhattan immediately. Oh, it's amazing, Anya. It's absolutely amazing. I completely agree, said General Wilson. And someone get the president on the phone at once. We need authorization to wipe these barbarians out before they disperse. Sir, what does that mean? I'm saying we're going DEFCON 2, Sergeant. The general barked. We need to vaporize this island while those savages are still on it. In less than an hour, New York City will only exist in memories. Right, Amanda? The Dalai Lama snaked between the city's buildings, and the Jolly Roger was hot on its tail. The pirates fired the cannons at one another, but the ships floated so freely it was difficult to hit their targets. Cannonballs slammed into the high-rises as they sailed past, leaving only trails of shattered glass and broken antennas, busted corporate logos all throughout Midtown Manhattan. Enough cat and mouse games, Captain Auburn Sally announced. It's time to confront these scallywags face to face. And the Dalai Lama set sail for the Empire State Building and then made a dramatic turn. What's the matter? She's okay. She can do it.
I'm not trying to just make sure.
Yeah. As long as you just make sure she doesn't go backwards. She's okay.
Yeah.
Good job, sweetheart.
You're a little daredevil, aren't you?
Yeah. Captain Auburn Sally and her crew swung onto the observation deck while Admiral Jacobson and his fleet manned the cannons. Captain Hook and his men joined the women on the observation deck, leaving Smee to operate the Jolly Roger's cannons on his own. The men of the Jolly Roger and the women of the Dalai Lama formed lines at opposite ends of the observation deck and drew their weapons. Men like you give pirates a bad name, Captain Auburn Sally said. You aren't pirates, Captain Hook said with a laugh. You're just a bunch of little girls with attitude. That's the laugh, in case you're wondering what that was.
Oh, nice. What are we yelling at the soy sauce for?
Why not? Seems to be the question of the day. Then I feel sorry for you, Hook, Auburn Sally said, because you and your men are about to get your booty handed to you by a bunch of little girls. Ladies, charge! and the pirates from Starboardia and the pirates from Neverland clashed in swashbuckling spectacle 86 stories above the ground. Cannonballs flew above their heads as they circled the ships, sparring in the air. The sounds of clanking swords and firing cannons echoed through the streets of New York City. The crew of the Dalai Lama were gifted swordswomen, but they also used some of their signature moves to battle the men of the Jolly Roger. Winking Wendy made her opponent sick by flashing an empty eye socket under her eye patch. Fish Lips Lucy gave her adversaries painful hickeys when they least expected it. And Somersault Sydney tumbled across the observation deck and knocked down the men in her path like they were bowling pins. Stinky Feet Phoebe held her feet against the challenger's face until the fumes caused them to lose consciousness. Too Much Rum Rhonda broke empty bottles of rum over the pirates' heads, and after a week at the St. Andrews Children's Commissary, Rhonda had a lot of empty bottles. While the pirates battled the top of the Empire State Building, Peter Pan covertly flew over the Jolly Roger. He quietly searched all the ship's decks for Tinkerbell, but the fairy was nowhere to be found. "Looking for this, Peter?" Captain Hook called to him, and Peter Pan jerked his head toward the sound of Hook's voice. The captain was standing on the edge of the observation deck with a jar dangling from his hook, and in it, Peter saw Tinkerbell trapped. "Give her back!" Peter Pan shouted. "If you want her, come and get her," Captain Hook yelled, and Peter Pan removed the dagger from his boot and met Captain Hook on the edge of the observation deck. The literary characters fought each other with more intensity than ever before. The more they fought, the higher they climbed, and soon they were dueling on the roof of the observation deck. Captain Hook climbed the ladder to the side of the building's spire, while Peter hovered in the air beside him, all while blocking deadly blows from each other's weapons. Finally, the captain reached the very top of the building's spire, and he couldn't climb any higher. "Hand over the fairy," Peter demanded. Captain Hook couldn't tell if Peter was deliberately taunting him, but he still cringed at the word hand. "Do you know what I wish I could do more than anything in the world, Peter?" Captain Hook asked. "Clap," Peter Pan gasped. "What?" Captain Hook asked. "No." "Do a handstand?" Peter asked. "No." "Play the piano?" "Stop it! Stop making appendage jokes." "Why? Is it getting out of hand?" "You are so immature." "Captain, now's not time to point fingers." Peter Pan was beside himself with laughter. Captain Hook growled angrily and got back to the point. "More than anything, I want you to be seen losing something you love," the captain said. "But since it's impossible to hold you down and cut off your hand, I've decided to hit you where it hurts the most. You want Tinkerbell back. Catch." Captain Hook then threw Tinkerbell's jar into the air, and it plummeted toward the streets below. Peter Pan dived after the jar, and as he passed the Jolly Roger, Mr. Smee fired a cannon at him. But instead of a cannonball, though, a wide net erupted from the cannon and wrapped itself around Peter. The boy landed on the roof of the observation deck and was firmly tangled in the net, too hard to save Tinkerbell. "Tink!" Peter screamed. The Rosary Chicken hadn't moved from the deck of the Dalai Lama since the battle began, but as she watched the helpless fairy fall to her death, the chicken knew that this was her moment to contribute. The Rosary Chicken plunged toward the jar, but just as she clutched the jar's handle with her beak, the chicken suddenly remembered she couldn't fly. "Squaw!" the Rosary Chicken squawked, and she fell toward her own certain death. Fortunately for her, desperate chirps were heard by one of Connor's other characters. At the top of the Dalai Lama's mast, the blissworm emerged from its cocoon to save its friend. However, the blissworm didn't exit its chrysalis as smiling, squishy space worm. Instead, it was a massive creature that slipped out of the cocoon and landed on the deck of the Dalai Lama with a loud thud. The creature had bulging biceps, defined abdominal muscles, 3 feathered antennas, and a wide set of wings whose patterns, when they stretched open, resembled a sad face. The blissworm had evolved into the next phase of its metamorphosis, a ferocious, mad moth. The mad moth got to its feet and roared like a Tyrannosaurus Rex and beat its broad chest like a gorilla. The creature was such a fascinating sight that all the pirates on the Empire State Building stopped to watch it. Some even took a seat. The mad moth leapt off the Dalai Lama, using the entire ship as a diving board, and whooshed toward Tinkerbell and the Rosary Chicken. The mad moth caught up to the chicken and the fairy within a few seconds of the street below. "Squaw!" The chicken was more afraid of the mad moth than of the fall. The mad insect turned to the Dalai Lama and gently placed the chicken and Tinkerbell's jar on the deck. Peter Pan and the characters from Starboardia cheered at the Mad Moth's bold rescue. It was so impressive that even a few of the Jolly Roger's pirates clapped along. "No!" Captain Hook yelled. "He was supposed to lose something that he loved." The livid captain slid down the Empire State Building spire and landed beside Peter Pan on the roof of the observation deck. The boy was still trapped inside the net and couldn't move. Captain Hook raised his sword over Peter's head, preparing to strike with a final fatal blow. Right before the captain would have slain the boy who wouldn't grow up, Auburn Sally somersaulted across the roof and sliced off Captain Hook's remaining hand. The captain's sword and his hand fell to the ground. "Ah!" the captain roared in agony. Strangely, instead of blood gushing from the captain's veins, the only thing that came out was words. All the adjectives that James M. Barrie had used to describe the horrible Captain Hook spewed from the captain's severed wrist. Captain Hook tucked his wound into his shoulder and lost balance. He fell over the railing of the observation deck and plunged toward the ground. The captain hit the street with such a powerful thump that the entire block rattled. When the pirates looked down, instead of seeing the captain's body, they just saw more of James M. Barrie's words splattered across the pavement. The words slowly sizzled into smoke and disappeared. After witnessing their captain's fall to his death, the Jolly Roger's pirates raised their hands in surrender. Peter Pan was cut free from the net and happily reunited with Tinkerbell. Not So Jolly Joan burst into tears and blew her nose into Peg-Leg Peggy's shoulder. "What's wrong, Joan?" Peg-Leg Peggy asked. "Oh, it's nothing," Not So Jolly Joan sniffed. "I just love a happy ending." The Ziblings jet zipped through the sky above New York City, but no matter how inconsistently they piloted the aircraft, the superheroes couldn't lose the flying monkeys that were trailing them. Bluebeard joined the swarm of winged creatures as they soared after the jet, but not because he was under the Wicked Witch's spell. The little monkey was looking for his family and spotted his parents at the front of the flock.
Mom! Dad! It's me! It's Bluebo!
He shouted. "Bluebo!" his mother cried. "What are you doing here?" "You were supposed to stay at the witch's castle in Oz," his father said. Despite the concerned expression on the parents' faces, they never slowed down to greet their son or even turn to see him. Like all the other monkeys, they kept their eyes fixated on the Ziblings' jet.
"I met some friends who were going to stop the Wicked Witch,"
Bluebo told them.
"Those superheroes, they're with us. They're the good guys. You gotta stop chasing them before someone gets hurt."
"I wish we could, son," his father said. "As long as the Wicked Witch is wearing the golden cap, the monkeys are under her control."
"I know, but can you fight the spell?"
Bluebo asked. "We tried, sweetheart. It's no use," his mother said. "The Wicked Witch's magic is just too powerful. You should get out of here and enjoy your life while you still can. Once you get older, you'll also be under the witch's control." Despite his parents' advice, Bluebo wasn't ready to give up just yet. The little monkey left the flock and glided toward the city on a daring mission to save his parents, himself, and his whole species. Eventually, the flying monkeys caught up with the Ziblings' jet. The creature landed on the aircraft's wings and began ripping it apart panel by panel. A loud alarm sounded inside the cockpit to warn the passengers. "That is not good," Professor Wallet said. "Those chimps are going to make us crash if someone doesn't intervene." "Don't worry, Dad. We'll take care of it," Bolt said. "You stay inside and steer. We'll go outside and save the jet before this flight goes bananas." Get it? Because they're monkeys. Blaze, Whitney, and Morph sighed at their little brother's joke. "You've really got to work on those one-liners, Bolt," Whitney said. "Yeah, it's kind of crucial if you want to be remembered," Blaze said. "But more importantly, if you want to be merchandised," Morph said. And the Ziblings crawled out of the hatch of the cockpit to handle the flying monkeys outside. The aircraft was speeding 100 miles per hour. Blaze, Whitney, Morph, and Bolt had to hold on tightly to the edge of the wings so that they didn't fly off. Blaze hit the flying monkeys with a fiery blast from the tips of his fingers. Whitney whipped the winged creatures off the jet with the long braids of her hair. Morph transformed into a giant octopus and knocked the flying monkeys off the aircraft with his enormous limbs. Bolt zapped the monkeys with a burst of electricity, but since they were all clinging to a metal object, every time he missed, he accidentally electrocuted his brothers and sister. Not great, sweetheart, right? Not great. "Bolt!" they yelled in unison. "Sorry, my bad." he apologized, and soon there were so many flying monkeys covering the jet that the aircraft looked like a large black bird flying through the air. One of the monkeys ripped off a panel and found a bundle of wires underneath it. The monkey sliced the wires with its teeth, and the jet's engines stopped working. Uh-oh! The Zibling's jet suddenly dropped from the sky and plunged toward the streets below. "Hold on tight, children," Professor Wallet's voice called from the speakers. "This is going to be a bumpy landing." Their mission complete, the flying monkeys abandoned the wings of the jet. Morph transformed into a giant parachute to ease the approaching impact, but the jet was just too heavy. The Zibling's jet smashed through the roof of a Broadway theater and nosedived into the orchestra pit. The rough landing knocked the wind out of the superheroes, and they slid down the aircraft and rolled into the theater's stage. Professor Wallet crawled out from the mountain of airbags and rested beside his children. Bolt looked around the theater as he caught his breath. "Well, it could have been worse," he said. "We could have landed off Broadway." The smallest superhero snickered at his own joke, and to his surprise, his brothers and sister laughed too. "That was much better," Blaze said. "Now that was a good line," Morph said. "See, it just takes practice," Whitney said. And suddenly, high-pitched screeching echoed through the theater. The Ziblings looked through the fresh hole in the roof and saw that the flying monkeys were headed toward the theater. They weren't finished with the superheroes yet. The other Ziblings caught their breath so that The other Ziblings were catching their breath, so Bolt leapt to his feet and flew toward the ceiling. "I'll be right back," Bolt said. "I've got some monkey business to take care of." His brothers and sister groaned. "And you lost me with that one," Bolt said. "Less is more," Morph added. "You should have stopped it off Broadway," Whitney said. And Bolt rocketed out of the theater and soared right past the flying monkeys. Just the way a bird protects her nest from a predator, the distraction worked, and the monkeys followed Bolt instead. The superhero flew east and spotted the Chrysler building in the distance. The sparkling skyscraper gave Bolt an idea. He landed at the very tip of the building's sharp spire, and the winged creatures landed below him. The monkeys charged up the side of the building toward the little superhero, intending to tear him apart like they did the Zibling's jet. Bolt waited until all the flying monkeys were on the Chrysler building's metal-coated roof, and then he looked up at the clouds and summoned a powerful bolt of lightning from the sky. The lightning hit the spire and sent a wave of electricity through the building. The extreme voltage made every light bulb burst and every window shatter. It electrocuted all the flying monkeys. The winged creatures were zapped so hard that they looked like balls of fur with wings. The monkeys fluttered to the ground and passed out as soon as they hit the street. "Well, that put a monkey wrench in their day," Bolt chuckled, and the little superhero was so proud of himself for defeating the flying monkeys, he didn't even need his siblings to approve his one-liners. He threw his head back and laughed until his belly hurt. The Winkies and the Wicked Witch followed Robin Hood and the Merry Men up Broadway to Lincoln Center. The center was home to 5 large theaters that sat around a spacious courtyard with a large fountain at the center. Robin Hood and the Merry Men sprinted up the steps of the courtyard, and although there were plenty of places to run, they stopped at the edge of a fountain. The Winkies quickly filled the courtyard and surrounded the Merry Men with their weapons raised.
"You morons give up so easily,"
the Wicked Witch remarked. "Do you hear that shrill sound, merry men?" Robin Hood asked. "The witch's voice is even uglier than her face, and I did not think that was possible."
"Silence!"
the Wicked Witch commanded. "I mean, look at her," Robin continued. "The witch is so ugly that when she was born, the doctors probably slapped her twice because they didn't know which end was which."
"All right, that is enough."
"The witch is so ugly that she went to a funeral and the corpse got up and ran away."
"If you don't shut up,
The witch is so ugly that when she was voted the national animal of Scotland." Ha ha ha. I think the joke there is that the British and the Scottish don't like each other. Is that what that is? Or are Scots just known for being ugly?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Okay, no los.
Okay. It's a pretty good
Yes,
roast.
there's some animosity, but not compared to like the Brits and the Irish.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know.
Well, the Wicked Witch was voted the national animal of Scotland, according to Robin Hood.
Is that a bad thing?
Well, he's roasting her right now, so it
Uh-huh.
has to be. He's saying she's so ugly that insert insult here, and the last one was that she was voted the national animal of Scotland.
like Robin Hood has a lot of problems in England also.
Sure.
Yeah.
But in this case, mostly the Wicked Witch.
Yes.
Yeah. The Wicked Witch tapped her umbrella on the ground, and a dirty sock appeared in Robin Hood's mouth.
I'm going to enjoy watching you die.
The Wicked Witch declared.
Winkies, kill this pompous man and his imbecile followers, and do it slowly.
The Winkies lunged toward Robin Hood and his merry men, but before they could strike the Prince of Thieves, they were distracted by a large object overhead. The Charlie Chaplain rose over Lincoln Center like an inflatable sun. Beau Rogers stood in the doorway of the Blimp's gondola wearing a lost talisman of the Pharaoh of eczema around his neck.
You aren't the only one who's into mind control, milady,
Beau Rogers announced. Allow me to introduce you to my batch of brainwashed warriors. And all the mummies from the Pyramid of Anesthesia crept out from behind the structures of Lincoln Center and surrounded the Wicked Witch and her Winkies. My soldiers have already met their maker. Now it's your turn, Beau said. Nice quiff, kid, Emoji called from the blimp steering wheel. Thanks, Aunt Emoji, he said. Mummies, attack! And the undead soldiers approached the Winkies at a leisurely pace, which was... Did we poopy?
I think so.
Oh. You want me to do it?
I thought we were just farty out here. Turns out we were poopy.
We're poopy?
No, I got it.
Okay. Which was as fast as the mummies could move. Unfortunately for Beau and the merry men, their surprise assault didn't go as well as they had hoped. The Winkies were exceptional fighters and tore through the mummies like they were made of cotton. Within a few minutes, the Winkies had defeated the mummies and trapped Robin Hood and the merry men again. The Wicked Witch let out a deafening cackle.
Any last words?
She asked. Well, merry men, it looks like this is the end, Robin Hood declared. I never thought we would perish at the hands of a soldier with such a ridiculous name and more flamboyant clothing than our own. Nonetheless, it has been an honor to travel the universe at your side. Robin, Allendale whispered, you're forgetting the next part of our plan. Oh yeah, Robin Hood said. Thank you, my faithful minstrel. We would have met our demise had it not been for your steel trap of a memory. Moving on.
They were making a cartoon. They need you to always.
Lost boys, your time has come. And suddenly, the Lost Boys from Neverland appeared on the roof of Lincoln Center's theaters and pelted the Wicked Witch with water balloons.
Take that, you mean old hag,
Toodles said.
Oh. Good.
What's the matter?
Oh, that's good.
Oh. We're okay?
Yeah, we're okay.
Okay.
Adults like you are the reason that we don't want to grow up, Curly said. Go back to the nightmares you came out of, Nib said, and leave our friends alone,
The Lost Twins said. And although Slightly had been a baby since the Lost Boys visited Marina's cottage, he still did his part and squirted the Wicked Witch with his bottle. Oh, that's nice. Soon, the Wicked Witch was drenched, and she began smoking and sizzling as the liquid melted her body, just as had happened with Captain Hook. Instead of bodily fluids, the Wicked Witch dissolved into words. All of the prose that L. Frank Baum had used to describe the Wicked Witch in his books now dripped from the witch's body.
You horrid little brats,
The Wicked Witch screamed in pain.
You'll pay for this one day. You may have stopped me in the other world, but I'll get my revenge in the underworld.
And the witch staggered across Lincoln Center's courtyard, leaving puddles of words as she went. She tripped and fell headfirst into the fountain and disintegrated completely. Friar Tuck knelt beside the fountain and said a prayer for the salvation of her soul. Now that the Wicked Witch of the West was dead, her vicious spell over the Winkies was lifted, and they dropped their weapons and pranced around the courtyard in celebration. Al and Adele strummed a happy tune so that they had something to dance to. What is going on? Robin Hood asked. Why are the Winkies skimping around when they are, intoxicated? Robin, they've been freed, Beau Rogers called down to him. The witch has been controlling them for years. You mean that witch forced you to wear those obnoxious outfits and answer to that degrading name? No, we had those both before the witch's spell, a Winky said, and Robin was greatly disturbed to hear this. Might there be another witch involved? He asked, and suddenly Bluebow swooped down from the sky and landed on the edge of the fountain. He dived in and searched through the Wicked Witch's watery remains. The others were curious about what the monkey was doing, and they all gathered around the fountain to watch him.
I found it,
he announced, and Bluebow resurfaced with the witch's golden cap in his hands. He threw it on the ground and smashed it with one of the Winky's spears until it broke into hundreds of pieces.
There,
Bluebow said with a satisfied smile.
from this moment forward, no one will ever control the flying monkeys ever again.
The Winkies cheered for the monkeys' newfound freedom, and although the Merry Men and the Lost Boys and the archaeologists had no idea what Bluebell was talking about, they joined the characters from Oz as they danced around Lincoln Center in celebration. "Such a strange place, this Oz," Robin Hood declared. "It is not every day you converse with witches, monkeys, and Winkies. It actually reminds me of a weekend I had once in France." The card soldiers and the Queen of Hearts followed the Tin Woodman from Midtown all the way to Washington Square Park in Lower Manhattan. The park was famous for the towering arch that stood at the north entrance. The Tin Woodman hurried through the arch, expecting to see a park filled with cyborgs from the Galaxy Queen, but the cyborgs were late. "Oh dear," the Tin Woodman said. The card soldiers caught up with the Tin Woodman and formed a circle around him. They pointed the sharp end of their staff at the metal man, and he dropped his axe. The Queen of Hearts sauntered into the circle and strutted around the Tin Woodman, eyeing him like he was a delicious treat. "Hold him down," she ordered with a devilish smile. "I want to cut his head off myself." The soldiers grabbed the Tin Woodman by the arms and kicked his legs out from underneath him and forced him into a kneeling position. The Queen of Hearts picked up his axe and practiced swinging it. "So you're the one they call the Queen of Hearts?" the Tin Woodman asked. "That's correct," the Queen said. "But I don't understand," he said. "You invade other people's homes. You claim them as your own. You cut off people's head for sport. How can you be the Queen of Hearts when you're so heartless?" "Is your head hollow?" the Queen asked with a snort. "Every creature in existence has a heart. It's just a muscle that pumps blood through the rest of your body. What you're talking about is compassion. That's much rarer and a total waste of time, if you ask me." The Tin Woodsman's eyes darted back and forth as he tried to make sense of all this. "So what I've been actually searching for this whole time, I've actually had inside me all along?" he asked, and his jaw dropped open and his eyes went wide as he made the greatest discovery of his life. The Queen of Hearts shared a confused glance with her card soldiers. Was the man she was about to decapitate asking her about life lessons? "I'm told that it is a conclusion most people come to before the end of their life," she said. "Lucky for you, you've reached it just in time. Now hold your head steady, because this is going to hurt." His realization made the Tin Woodsman feel like he was seeing the world for the first time. He was so overwhelmed that tears filled his eyes, but he couldn't get emotional and rust now. He needed to save himself from the Queen of Hearts so that his new life could begin. "Wait," the Tin Woodman said. "If you're so fascinated by my head, you should see my heart." "Stupid man," the Queen of Hearts said. "You just said you didn't have one, and now you want me to look at it." "I was mistaken," he said. "You may be the Queen of Hearts, but I guarantee you've never seen a heart like mine before." The Tin Woodman captured the Queen's attention, and she curiously raised an eyebrow. "Very well. Before I cut off your head, I'll have a look at your heart," she said. "Turn him over." The card soldiers pulled the Tin Woodman up and turned him onto his back. The Queen of Hearts leaned over his metal torso and yanked open the small door in his chest. To her horror, the Queen didn't find a heart at all, but a tiny woman standing inside him. "Boo!" Trollbella screamed. "Ah!" the Queen of Hearts screamed. The Queen was so stunned that she dropped the Tin Woodman's axe and stumbled backwards. The soldiers, pinning the Tin Woodman so quickly, went to help the Queen of Hearts. Trollbella jumped to the ground and retrieved the axe and tossed it to the Woodman once he was to his feet. The Queen of Hearts roared in anger and pointed a finger at the unlikely duo. "Seize them at once," she yelled, "and off with both of their heads." But before the Queen of Hearts could finish her sentence, the Tin Woodman swung his axe with all his might and chopped off the Queen's head instead. Again, as with the other literary villains, the only thing that spewed out of her body was words. All the adjectives, adverbs, verbs, and nouns that Lewis Carroll had used to describe this unpleasant monarch sprayed out of the Queen's neck, and eventually the words dried up and the Queen of Hearts' dismembered body disappeared. "He's murdered our Queen," the card soldiers shouted. "He'll pay for this," shouted another. And the card soldiers charged toward the Tin Woodman and Trollbella, and just as they were about to be pierced by the soldiers' weapons, everyone in the park was suddenly distracted by a bright light in the sky. The Tin Woodman and Trollbella looked up and saw the Basque Eight had finally arrived. The Cyborg Queen and Commander Neuters observed the park from the window of the command bridge. "I believe this is what we have been looking for, Your Majesty," Commander Neuters said. "Oh yes, this is definitely Washington Square Park. I can see that it is filled with the boxy soldiers that we agreed to defeat." The city has more square parts than all my planets combined," the Cyborg Queen said. "Anywho, I can see that we're a little tardy. Send the cyborgs to assist the metal lumberjack and his vertically challenged friend." "Yes, ma'am," Commander Neuters said, and turned to the cyborg soldiers. "You heard the Queen. To the park with you." A wide door opened, and the Basque's eighth belly let out thousands of cyborgs gliding into Washington Square Park. They descended using jetpacks, hoverboards, and personal propellers. Before engaging in combat, the cyborgs' order of business was to transport the Tin Woodman and Troll Bella to the top of Washington Square Park's arch. Once they were safe, the cyborgs wreaked havoc on the card soldiers. The Wonderland natives were skilled fighters, but they were no match for the cyborgs' laser guns, gamma bombs, and rocket launchers. It wasn't long before the cards surrendered, and they were taken aboard the Basque 8 as the cyborgs' prisoners. As the battle ended, the Tin Woodman sat on the edge of the tall ark and let out a big sigh.
What's wrong?
Trollbella asked. I've always been hollow, but for the first time in my life, I really feel empty inside, the Tin Woodman said. I always thought a heart would fill the void, but now that I know I've had one all along, I'm not really sure what to do with myself. The Tin Woodman's dilemma was Trollbella's dream come true. She stared in wonder at the most beautiful sight she had ever seen. An emotionally mature, vulnerable, and very needy man. The Troll Queen sat beside the Tin Woodman, longingly gazing up at him and batting her eyes.
You know, I do fit perfectly inside your chest, she remarked. Perhaps I'm the heart that you had been searching for.
Trollbella put her tiny hand into his and rested her horns on his shoulder, and in that moment the Tin Woodman was certain that he had a heart, because the Troll Girl's touch made him blush. Rat Mary and the witches flew through New York City as erratically as possible, but nothing threw off their determined followers. Lester, Jack, and Goldilocks soared through the witches as they dangerously zigzagged between buildings, looped around skyscrapers, and dived under bridges. Absolutely nothing was going to stop the daring parents from retrieving their son. Lester was gaining more and more ground with each passing second, and soon they were reaching the distance of the bristles and the last witch's broom. I've got an idea, Jack told his wife and the gander. We'll follow the witches to the cluster of the buildings in the distance, and when we get there, we're going to go around that green tower and cut them off before they reach the... But before Jack could finish unripping his plan, Goldilocks sprang into action with a plan of her own. She leapt off Lester's back and landed on the broomstick of the closest witch. Goldilocks fought the witch for control of the room, and just as the witch was about to zap her with a magic spell, Goldilocks punched the witch in the face, and she landed in the East River. Goldilocks gripped the broomstick tightly with both hands. She had never ridden on a witch's broom before, and it took her a moment to figure out how to work it. She was pleasantly surprised to learn that riding a magic broomstick was very similar to riding a horse, and when she leaned forward, the broom zoomed ahead. When she pulled up on the handle, the broom slowed down. Once she felt confident, she turned to Jack and Lester flying beside her and filled them in on her plan. I'm going to make my way toward the front of the witches, she told them, and I'm going to hop on Mary's broom and get Hero. Be careful, Goldie, Jack said. Carol never got me anywhere, she said with a wink, and the courageous mother leaned forward, and the broomstick's speed gradually increased. As she flew past the witches, Goldilocks did whatever she could to knock them out of the sky. She slammed into them, she shoved them off their brooms, and she pulled the witches' hair so that they would fall backwards into the city. She kicked their broom handles and sent them spinning out of control, and finally, the only ones left in flying procession were Goldilocks, Rat Mary, and Hero. Goldilocks snuck up behind Rat Mary's broom and jumped off her own and landed on her broomstick with the witch. Give me back my son, she demanded.
Why do breeders get so attached to their young? Rat Mary screeched. You could just make another one, you know.
The witch twisted and looped through the air. She dipped, she made sharp turns, and she even flew upside down at one point, but nothing knocked Goldilocks off the broom. The vigorous momentum only rocked Hero to sleep.
Gosh, you are relentless, Rat Mary said. Here, just take the little rug rat. I'll find another one.
And the witch sliced the strap of the baby Bjorn with her sharp fingernail. The contraption slid off the witch's body and fell toward the ground with Hero inside it. Goldilocks dived off Rat Mary's broom and caught her son in midair. The mother and the child fell thousands of feet through the air, and a few seconds before they could hit the ground, Lester swooped under them and they landed safely in Jack's arms.
Curses, Rat Mary said. I was hoping for a splat.
Ironically, the witch wasn't watching where she was going and slammed headfirst into the Flatiron building. The messy impact made one thing abundantly clear. Rat Mary's kid-snatching, broom-riding, potion-brewing days were over. Goldilocks and Jack were overjoyed to finally have Hero back in their arms. The happy couple embraced their newborn son, and Lester carried the reunited family back toward Central Park to find their friends. Aww. Well, that chapter had a happy ending. Guys, we defeated all the literary villains, and Jack and Goldilocks saved their son.
Well,
Phew!
there's a lot going on there.
There was a lot going on, and before we forget, we have to open our.
I'm surprised by
What are you surprised by?
that the U.S. military,
What?
the side of the good guys.
That is surprising, actually. But they didn't really help much, if I'm being honest.
Well, sure.
They weren't very helpful. Does anyone know what today's date is? Because I think...
The 9th, probably?
The 9th, that makes sense. Okay. Today, the 9th. So we need to catch up because the last one we did was...
Yes. And you know what?
What?
I'm going to call somebody tomorrow.
Who are you going to call tomorrow? Ghostbusters?
No, my brother.
Is it birthday? That's fine. All right. We're going to do day 7 now because we are that behind because I kept forgetting while my brother was here to do it. What is day 7? Anyone want to guess what our book's going to be?
Expectations.
I love this book. It's the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. I love this book. This is a great book. The movie was okay, not terrible.
I was working at Blockbuster when that movie came out.
Probably. That makes sense age-wise. This is a great book, you guys. 10 out of 10 would recommend to a friend almost anything that author writes. By the way, same author as My Name is Memory. Pretty much like the first book first or second book we read for book club ever. Book was better. Yeah, no, I totally agree. Okay, that was day 7.
Are there any teenage jobs that are the equivalent of Blockbuster these days?
Can't think of one.
I'm not saying it's great, but I mean, better than a lot of other stuff.
Don't worry, honey, you don't have to do that. Okay, the next book is Sherlock Holmes, The Complete Novels and Stories, Volume 1. Wow.
Volume 1.
That's a chunky book.
Chunkarino. Chunkalunk.
The Adventure of the Empty Home. Okay. Can you imagine if they had My Name is Memory in there? That would be awesome. Oh my god, I can't even imagine. That would be wild. All right, one more to do because today is the 9th. Let's do day 9 and then we'll be caught up for tomorrow. Guys, we're totally finishing our book this week, by the way. I have that tiny book. It has magnifying glass. Yes, I need to get the magnifying glass out. Oh, Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, and it's a hardback. A hardback. This is either our second or third hardback, honey. Are you thrilled? You look thrilled. She's thrilled. Well,
Started pulling on the hair from my
beautiful sound, honey. Beautiful, my angel. If you want to do... Can you do it?
arm.
I know you can. That's another book I wish I could read for the first time again. I know, same. Go ahead. Good job, sweetheart. I love when you learn new skills. You're very skilled. All right.
Why are we making that noise?
Yes. All right. So I will see you all tomorrow. We have just, I think, let's see. Guys, I think we only have like 2 days left of this book. So start thinking and voting on what you want to do next. Get ready to cry because if I remember correctly, I bawled my eyes out at the ending of this book. So there you go. Oh, that one's not new, Amanda. We've had that one for a while. Right, honey? Your screech is not a new skill. The blah, 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 blah is the new skill. My book is your pick. Okay, yeah. I mean, if you guys want to...
wearing hearing aids someday, you can take claim over it.
Yes. Oh,